The door to her left was closed. She frowned, wondering if it was always closed. She'd never had reason to go upstairs. In spite of how long she'd known the family, the Sebastians were new clients, and it was too soon for her to know what was normal and what wasn't. A shadow passed below the door. Her heart tripped. Then she forced herself to calm. She was going to feel awfully silly when that door opened and it was Carl. The floor creaked again. "Hello?" she said. The shadow stilled, stopping in the center of the doorway. "Carl?" A scrambling from inside. She touched her throat. What if he had a woman in there? Carl was unmarried, in his early 30s, and GQ gorgeous. Heat crept up her neck. "Carl? It's me, Rylee. I don't mean to be a bother. I just thought I heard something and wanted to be sure everything's okay. Is everything okay in there?" A whoosh, a clatter, a grunt. Her pulse picked up again. He should have answered by now. "Carl? I'm coming in." She placed her hand on the knob, the brass cool to her sweaty palm. Slowly, slowly she turned the handle and peeked inside. The bedroom stood immaculate, another four-poster bed, a Kentia palm tree, a mahogany chest of drawers, a tall urn. She pushed the door the rest of the way open. Nothing. With a crash, one end of the window's curtain rod swung down. She whirled around, her heart slamming in her chest. A man's leg, tangled in gold brocade curtain, protruded from the window. He yanked the limb free, pulling the rod the rest of the way down. Screaming, she bolted, banging the doorframe on her way out. The noise set Romeo off. His loud, incessant yipping echoed through the kitchen like a homing beacon. She scrambled down the stairs, swung around the landing, and rushed to the kitchen phone. Jumping over the dog fence and into the laundry room with Romeo, she slammed the door shut, then punched 911. "Please, there's a burglar. He's outside on the second-story balcony. Hurry!" The operator verified her location and kept Rylee on the line and talking. Romeo stood with ears and tail up, barking so loudly she couldn't hear a thing. The shakes took hold. Her legs quaked, her arms trembled, the phone slipped from her hands twice. She slid down the door and onto the floor. Yes, I'm fine, just hurry." The questions and reassurances continued for a few minutes, until a deep male voice rang out from the kitchen. "Miss Monroe?" "Yes, in here." She cracked the door open. The uniformed man looked to be in his 50s, but plenty robust. "You say you saw a prowler, ma'am?" She nodded. "Upstairs, first door to the left. He was crawling out the window." He pushed a button on the walkie-talkie strapped to his shoulder, dropped his voice an octave, and mumbled something indecipherable into it. He looked at her. "Close that door and don't come out until I return for you." Swallowing, she did as instructed. The shakes were worse now. Had the robber managed to get untangled and off the balcony? What if he was still there? What if he was younger and stronger than the officer? What if he had a gun and got the first shot off? She'd be a sitting duck. Romeo crawled into her lap, sensing her distress. She cuddled him close, drawing comfort from him. Most schnauzers had bobbed tails and ears and shaved bodies. Not Romeo. For whatever reason, he'd never been clipped. His ears and tail, along with the rest of his coat, were long, shaggy, and adorable. She'd fallen in love with him on sight. She gave his head a kiss. Maybe that's why they named him Romeo. Picking up the phone she'd had earlier, she speed-dialed Carl at the law offices of Sebastian, Lynch, and Orton. "Rylee Monroe calling. Would you tell Carl it's an emergency, please?" Innocuous elevator music filled her ear before Carl picked up. "Rylee? What's happened?" "There's been an intruder." "At the house?" he exclaimed. "Are you all right?" "I'm